I learned about this project at AASHE in Baltimore in October. My first visit to AASHE, I was really impressed, and Baltimore was very nice as well. So I heard about this project. I thought it'd be really interesting for my customers and anyone else who's involved with campus operations or campus sustainability to hear about it. So could you introduce yourself, please, and we'll take it from there.
I'm Mary Wallace, and I'm the co-founder of PeopleTowels.
And I'm Joni Newcomer. I'm the manager of environmental policy and sustainability at New Mexico State University.
So can you tell us about the project? Start big picture and then start to drill down into detail. So start with sort of the biggest picture you can think and come down.
Our goal at PeopleTowels was really to eliminate paper towel use throughout the United States and in other countries. And it's because in the U.S. alone, we throw away 18 billion pounds of paper towels into the landfill. And there is a significant, both financial, but I think more importantly, environmental impact of using paper towels. It's not only the waste that's created, and you have to find places to dispose of that waste. And also, there's the trees that are cut down. There's the water that's polluted in the process of making the paper towels. And also the CO2 emissions that are created by the process of making the paper from the pulp. So that's the big picture. Our sort of vision is that someday that we can do this, because it's really a mindless habit. Here, people buy, I go to Costco, which is, one of our big warehouse stores, and people are coming out of there with carts and carts of paper towels, and people will take a dozen of them to wipe up a little spill. Whereas, you can use a paper towel, you can use, an old rag to do the same thing and then just reuse it. So ideally, that's, our vision, our goal. And sort of kind of bring that down to the individual user. Each person on average uses 3,000 paper towels outside the home every year. So that doesn't even count what's going on at home, which probably is, double or triple that amount. So we looked at it as, every person can make a difference, and a small impact can add up, or, a small act can add up to a really big impact. And we started working with colleges because we thought that, one, it's a mindset in colleges to make change on many campuses, and there is a movement towards zero waste on a lot of campuses. So that's why we started working with schools like New Mexico State University, with Joni, and others to see if we couldn't make an impact on people's behavior and make change.
So what is the service? You define the pain points. What's the service that you're delivering? Or what's the initiative?
Well, in working with the colleges, we did a study, and the study was about really changing behavior. So we built an app that would track people's paper towel use. And we worked with 9 campuses across the country. And what we wanted to do was to see if we could change behavior and how long it would take. So we measured the number of paper towels that students used prior to the study, and then we continued to track their paper towel use over a 5-week period. And we were able to, on average, decrease the number of paper towels used over that period of time by 80%. Yay. So we know we can make a difference.
Okay, so is this, bring you in, Joni, is this to do with the person becoming aware of how many paper towels they're using, or what other things are at play here?
I became involved with Mary because I got my first People Towel at an AASHE conference probably 6 years ago. And so I'm personally have a very low waist. And so I take it very personally. And so when I found the opportunity to get involved with the research study, I was all for it, because I, as the sustainability manager at New Mexico State, energy reduction is my first initiative and waste reduction is my second initiative. So those are my top two. So that's why this was so important for me to become involved and to help the students learn more about waste reduction and see how they live life with the People Towel. Yeah, and it was very successful. It really is. In fact, I still have students calling me and asking me for People Towels and where they get them. And so it's all the rage here on campus.
So you mentioned about energy use. Just in case anyone's not making the connection, where is the energy reduction happening?
Well, that's separate from the waste reduction. Those are just my two top initiatives on campus, mainly because when we signed the ACU-PCC, the President's Climate Commitment, we said we would reduce our energy, and also we said we would reduce our waste. So that was a promise we made.
So is that to do with replacing hand dryers? Or not?
No, you can't. In this case, I can't relate the energy reduction to the waste reduction.
Right.
I mean, you could if I was a giant factory and making these, but in my instance, no, they don't really relate.
Okay. So just pulling this together. So there's a reusable towel. Is that what we're getting to? Is that what PeopleTowels is?
Yes, and yeah, I'm sure you'll have a bunch of pictures of it, but here's mine that I just pulled out of my purse that I carry with me all day long, everywhere.
Okay, so
Jody, I pulled mine out of my purse now.
Okay, show. There you go.
This is
one of my favorites.
You can see it's well used.
So just summarising here, these reusable towels are carried by the customer, and instead of taking a paper towel, they use the People Towel, give it a little shake off in the restroom, and goes back into the handbag or the pocket to be reused again and again and again. And it's probably washed at the end of the week or after a couple of days or something like that.
That's right.
Yes.
Great. So this seems like a no-brainer. Why haven't I seen it before?
Well, you Brits, you know, you're a little behind us here in the U.S. Kidding. Take that off.
No. So is it we've mentioned culture here. Is this a cultural thing? Have you seen it in practice anywhere else? How does it go down there?
Well, they talked about it in Japan, right? Everywhere.
Yes. Everyone uses a personal hand towel in Japan because if you visit there and you go into a restroom in any one of the cities, you'll see very few hand dryers and no paper towels. You might find in the bigger department stores some hand dryers, but other than that, everybody just carries their own. And, you know, from the time that a person is, you know, a child old enough to dry their own hands, they carry their own towel with them. And until that point, their parents carry an extra towel, and that's the children's towel. So it's, you know, the culture grows up with it. And
sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I wonder if we've lost our way a little bit, obviously, because I remember having like a handkerchief when I was a youngster, you know, and I can't remember, that was to kind of like, if you had a cold or whatever. And I don't know whether, there's obviously a hygiene issue, isn't there, where people have gone, right, that's unhygienic, let's jump to paper towels. So, but Japan or Japanese are traditionally very hygienic.
Yes.
So what's happened?
Well, we get that question a lot from potential users. And for one thing, with the People Towel, this towel, you have your own personal towel, and you are expected to use it when your hands are clean. So you wash your hands, they should be germ-free, and then you dry them with it. So, and you don't share it with somebody else. And I don't know about in the UK, but in the U.S., we've become such germaphobes. It's really crazy. Because a good hand washing is really the best, defense against viruses and bacteria and other germs. And that's our answer to that. Hand dryers, we get asked about that a lot. They're big energy consumers. They're noisy. And there's been quite a bit of research, and I certainly can send you links to the research we have, but about hand dryers really breeding germs and then spraying them all over the bathroom.
I wondered about the ones that they do now. It's the blade hand dryer. I've always you put your hands in wet. Where's that water going? It's just going to the bottom of that reservoir of everyone else's kind of like shakes.
Yes.
So, Joni, what about for just coming back to the campus operational side of things? How has it rolled out across your campus, and what has been the challenges, and how did you overcome them?
So far, I have not been able to roll out PeopleTowels as an option to paper towels. We just finished getting a green cleaning policy on campus, where we're using recycled paper for our paper towels and recycled paper for our toilet paper. So that was a big step for us. So I think the next step, now that people understand the importance of waste reduction and reuse, I think that the People Towel would be a good next step to talk to our custodians about. Because as Mary can show in her study, it is hugely successful and saves the university so much money.
Yeah,
I can't imagine our custodians not wanting to do it. I just need to approach them.
This is great. This has been the most interesting last 20 minutes of my day so far. Actually, because this has got so many parallels with the Bag for Life movement. Do you have that in the US, where you got your Bag for Life and you keep that, and that's now that is over the last 10 years. Since I've been involved with waste reduction, that has gone from niche activity to mainstream. And now when we go shopping, now my wife's always like, "Oh, you forgot the Bags for Life," and it's like it's a normal thing. So I can see this doing the same trajectory. And they can be branded, they can be part of a campaign.
Yeah.
It's tailor-made for campuses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and Daniel, this is crazy, but I will talk to any stranger in a public restroom about my People Towel. If I'm using this to dry my hands, I will talk to anyone. Of course, they think I'm some crazy lady, but I show my People Towel to everyone. And some people think that's really cool, and some people really do think I'm crazy. But so that's how passionate I am about it.
Great. And is this an absorbent material, or is it like what describe the material?
Yes, Mary, talk about your towel.
The towels are made from 100% fair trade organic cotton. And we had the cotton woven specifically for this purpose. So on one side, it's a smooth surface, so you can print on that. But then on the other side, it's a very lightweight terry, which is very absorbent, yet it dries quickly.
Okay, this is good. So I'm going back to operational stuff again. So comparison-wise for capital layout, what does it look like from hand dryer to paper towel to People Towel? What's the sort of comparisons, investment-wise?
Investment for a campus?
Let's look at a campus's paper towel use over 1 year, where you've got, I don't know, you said 3,000 paper towel users by each person per year compared to the actual cost of a People Towel.
Well, depending on the size of the campus, they would need to have, a certain number of People Towels in order for students to actually adopt the habit. Now, we haven't done a direct comparison. I don't know if Joni has any of this information as far as the cost, but we do know instead of using paper towels and switching to People Towels, a campus will see a return on their investment in a little less than 3 months.
Wow.
So, it's a big difference with the cost of paper towels, the cost of the janitorial service to remove them, the landfill, all of those components of the overall cost. And the beauty of the PeopleTowel is students and faculty or whoever is using them, they take personal responsibility in laundering their towel. So there's not a cost in that regard to the campus either.
I love it. From a campus point of view, Joni, what do you see the barriers to adopting this? You mentioned it took a long time for you to get your green cleaning policy in place, and that's just normal. You know, these organisations are bureaucratic. There's committees, there's approval processes. We know that. But what I mean, because I'm thinking about being a janitor here, and I'm thinking about the janitor filling these box of paper towels. Then all of a sudden, he's going, well, I don't need to do that anymore. I can spend my time doing more meaningful things. I can clean deeper. I can serve my customers better. So I can see a benefit for the porter or the janitor or whatever you want to call them. But then there's obviously his or her boss who's laying out for paper towels. They're going to see a return on investment in 3 months' time. So I'm trying to find where's the barriers coming from?
You know, the barriers are because people are not, they don't like change. I mean, that's really the easiest answer is people don't like change. And so everything you said is spot on. It really is, because right now, New Mexico State University is going through huge budget cuts, huge. Our custodians are up to the gills in too much to do. And if we took one thing off their list, which is emptying the trash, which is a big deal, and then we reduced our tipping fees for that trash, I can't imagine that the custodian manager would say, oh, well, that's silly. He'd go, oh, look, a way to save money.
Yeah, and time.
So it's just a matter of my approaching him. And, you know, Mary, maybe this will be a reason for you and me to do a conference call with the head of custodians. So, you know, maybe that's our next step, Daniel.
I mean, whenever I'm in a restroom or a toilet that you call them over here, and I see that bin, that dumpster, that container full of half-wet paper towels, which have a volume when they overflow in the bin, but if you squash them together, like the volume is only that. I just think the system is broken.
Yes.
You know, the system's broken. We're growing these trees in Indonesia. We're chopping them down. We're moving them all the way over to Europe, packed as paper towels. We're putting them through a factory. We're bleaching them. We're colouring them. We're sending them to campuses all across the world. They're used for 10 seconds and then thrown in the bin. They're then collected. They're not even recycled because they're hard to recycle because they're wet and the textiles and the materials just can't be recycled. And it goes straight to landfill where it rots to give off methane. And in 100 years' time, we're going to have some archaeologists going to the landfill site and going, what? They use paper towel. They use paper towels. It's bonkers when you could just do a textile version and use it once. I use it 100 times instead of once.
And just toss it in the wash. Yeah, reuse.
Yeah. It's so easy.
Gosh, it's so easy. It's hard. I mean, it's really difficult for me to understand why it just isn't a no-brainer for people.
Wow. I love this. So how can I help? How could I help in the UK? Anything I can do to help?
Well, I think help is spread the word. I would be happy to send you some samples.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You know, of our designs, and use it, love it. You know, because I think, you know, from just our conversation and first meeting you, I think that you would absolutely love it. And you get the concept. You had a handkerchief. I'd love to see people go back to using handkerchiefs.
Yeah, I can.
Just for their nose.
Yeah, for their nose, absolutely. But I mean, I have to admit, I have used this for my nose. I mean, twice in the wash, but you know, I have emergencies sometimes, you know, and I don't have a Kleenex, or I spill something in my car. I grab my PeopleTowel. I mean, it's very versatile. I guess I should say that too. I don't, you know, sometimes I use the napkin, you know, to wipe my mouth. I mean, I don't then dry my hands with it. I toss in the wash and get a clean one. But it's really a very useful little thing.
This is a no-brainer. No-brainer alert. No-brainer alert. I don't want to take you much longer, but is there anything you would like to say before we leave, both of you? Think about like how people can adopt this on their campus, or any top tips or advice you have for changing governance or policy, or just anything to help get your message out there.
Well, I think from PeopleTowels' perspective, I think that people need to realize that it's going to take a little while to adopt a new behavior, and it's okay to forget your towel. We've seen this in a study that we did. People, had the best intentions, but they left it at home. So their paper towel usage increased for the day. But over the period of time, they eventually, did little things. They put it by the front door. They made sure it was in their purse, whatever. And I also say that one people towel per person just doesn't do it. We learned that from our study. If you're going to truly adopt the habit, you need a week's worth. You're right, 3 at a minimum, because you can use it for a few days. But as I mentioned earlier, if I have, I spill my coffee on me or whatever on the way to, a meeting, I'm going to use my people towel to sop it up, and then I got to find, get a new one. But really, 3 to 5, I say the more the better. We have moms that have bought dozens of these. They carry them in their car. They have them at home. They have them in their purse, the diaper bag, you name it. And they're truly living the sustainable lifestyle. It's really great.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. How about you, Johnny?
Well, one of the things that I'm very proud of personally is that I am zero waste, particularly when I travel. And so I've made my own little travel to go box and my travel zero waste box. So when I travel, or just really in my everyday living, I have my to go clamshell for leftovers. I have my people towel always. I have my little spork. I have my to go cup. I just don't throw things away. And like Mary said, I'm embarrassed to say how many of these I have now because the designs are so pretty and I love them. And they're great gifts. So I give them to people who will use them and spread the word. And I just can't think of anything bad about it. I love my people towel.
Awesome. And what about any advice for other sustainability people from campus who are watching this now? Any advice from your journey?
Well, I would start with, if there is a sustainability manager on campus, certainly get the people towels to that person, and maybe they watch this video, or they're always welcome to give us a call and we can explain how easy it is and the benefits. And then from there, I think it's important to start from the top. And so right now we are doing the STARS, a sustainability report. Well, it's an AASHE report that you attended the conference. And one of the things is on waste reduction. And so I'm guessing campuses all over the world are doing some kind of sustainability report. And this is an easy credit. So that's one reason to use it. And just to be conscious humans, right? To take care of the planet. It's what we have to do. Yeah. And you get that, Daniel. You get that so clearly. So you can be our UK mouse.
One of my bits of advice also for anyone that's on campus trying to make a difference in this regard is to make sure to look at all of the costs and all of the benefits. Yeah. I recently worked with a campus that was looking at giving people towels away to all of their incoming freshmen. Mm-hmm. And they had close to 7,000 incoming freshmen. Well, they wanted to do it, the sustainability team wanted to do it, but they ran into a brick wall when they got to the funding agency because they could buy paper towels so much cheaper. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, please go back to them or have them call me and let's talk about all of the expenses and all of the benefits because if you just stick, sure, one, you can, buy paper towels a lot cheaper, but over the long run, it's not going to be less expensive. Out of the gate, yes, you're going to pay more for a paper towel in the first month than you are for paper towels. But give us 3 months and you're all of a sudden going in the other direction.
Yep. Awesome. Great stuff.